Hi everybody, welcome to the Initial Washroom Podcast. I'm joined today by a good friend of ours, Raymond Martin, the Managing Director of the British Toilet Association. Raymond, first of all, welcome.
Good morning, Jimmy. Thank you very much indeed for inviting me along. I'm delighted.
Thank you for being here. So for people that might not know, what is the BTA? What is the British Toilet Association?
The British Toilet Association is a not-for-profit members organisation. It's run on behalf of the members. We are a collective who are professional people in the washroom industry, cleaners, supervisors, managers, directors, people who own companies. We work with a lot of partner organisations, Independent Washroom Services Association, BICS, the British Institute of Cleaning Sciences, British Standards, whatever. And we work along with corporate champions, which I'm delighted to say Initial Washrooms are one of our latest corporate champions. And we gather advice and guidance on everything to do with toilets. We are the watchdog, if you want to call it that. We are the industry watchdog. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know a lot of smart people, and I work with a lot of smart people, so I can tend to answer just about every question that comes up on washrooms. So the BTA has been really a body that has been lobbying, campaigning, maybe even fighting government to try and get a change in legislation, because actually there is no legislation on public toilets, and there never has been. And because there's no legislation, there's no funding. Funding follows legislation. And I'm delighted to say we're making big headroom into that, where we're now in with government and talking to government about some changes. But as well as doing that, what we actually do on a day-to-day basis is we're giving advice and guidance to councils, to private companies, to public companies about their toilets, what they have, looking at the ones they have, doing some survey and consultation work, and trying to give them ideas for future improvement. We're not criticising anything that's there, although some of the stuff can be very poor. We're giving people ideas of how to improve them, and it's great to be able to show them things like what Initial do and the standards that you guys keep, and try and get them to in some way emulate.
And in terms of, because I know you've been in many a toilet, much as myself. In terms of the things that you see, so what do you see as the biggest challenges for washrooms today?
Yeah, I probably do about 800 to 1,000 washrooms every year.
That's more than me.
Travelling around. I mean, most of the journeys are well over 1,000 miles when I come over. It's all multi things. The biggest challenge I really believe, Jamie, is management.
Yeah.
I think it's professional approach and management. Anything, whether you're running a shop or a store or a market trade or whatever it is, type of stuff. If you have this piece of real estate, if you have this facility that's open for public and being used, I understand there's problems in antisocial activity or whatever. But if you're running this properly, you have to keep it to the highest standard. And unfortunately, with the lack of funding coming through from government, the lack of resources, the lots and lots of councils and people scaling back on the number of staff they have, so therefore they can't clean the toilets every hour or on the hour, whatever. They're cleaning them once a day at best. I think that's really the biggest problems in toilets. It's okay, funding in some ways, but it's management. If you have something, you keep it well, you look after it, you care for it, you make sure if somebody else is going to come in to your house, whatever sort of stuff, it's clean, it's tidy, it's neat, and the toilet's clean before you invite people in. And it's a personal sense of pride.
I think so, and I think there's an element of neglect breeds neglect sometimes.
Of course it does.
If you can maintain something to a high standard consistently, it's far more likely that it's going to be respected and well used.
Absolutely.
By the people that use it.
Absolutely. If you go into a place and it's well kept and all the provisions are there, you're more likely to respect it and think that these people care about me. I should reciprocate.
Absolutely.
And leave it that way. When you go in, the cistern's broken and the handle's missing and the door lock doesn't work and whatever, you think, well, if they don't care, why should I?
Yeah.
And it's wrong. It's probably not the way you or I think, but it's how vast majority.
It's how it works. And the flip side of that, of course, is if you maintain it to a high standard. If you've got soap, if you've got hand towels, for example, in place, and it's a nice experience when you're in there, people are far more likely to look after it in general, really, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we've seen this time and time again in some of the big hotel chains, the big pub chains, whatever, where the people are saying toilets bring us custom. They bring people in, and they keep them there as well. You know, if the toilets are nice, they're more likely to come and stay and enjoy the food and have a drink, whatever. So the money comes over the till. So it has a massive knock-on economic effect. But again, it's about personal pride. Yeah. If you're running a restaurant or a hotel or a big shopping centre, you want people to go away with good impressions, and you want them to tell their friends, oh, you should go down. You want to see the toilets. They're oh, beautiful, because initial cleaning, and that's you know it. But yes, it's a matter of personal pride.
Now, we've spoken previously about dignity and inclusivity within the toilet, within the washroom. How important is that from the BTA's perspective?
It's our watchwords, Jamie. Really, we talk about the BTA. We talk about health and well-being, social inclusion, equality for people with accessibility issues, and public dignity and public decency. Yeah. And that's what toilets are about. Those are the 5 main elements for the toilets. So people being able to, particularly people with disabilities, particularly older people, whatever, or even families with young children, people who need the toilets tend to need them urgently. Mm-hmm. It's rather than thinking, oh, I must go to the toilet in 15 minutes, it tends to be, oh, I need to go to the toilet now. Yeah. And so, toilets have to be right, they have to be ready, they have to be set up properly. And when you go in, you should feel comfortable, you should feel relaxed, you should be able to redress and look after, do your hair and whatever, and do the lipstick, get yourself fresh to come back into the world again. But again, we don't want to live in a world whereby street urination and street defecation and such like is the norm, where there are no toilets and we have muck everywhere. It's not the world we live. It's not we're a first world country, I think, still. I certainly don't want the standards to go down, and that's why I fight so hard for the standards, to keep the standards up. All we're asking for is good, clean toilets. Sometimes we find absolutely magnificent toilets, and you find, we go around and there's chandeliers and there's hand towels and creams and smelly things and whatever for you to use and whatever, and that's fantastic. That's above and beyond. I think what we're really all looking for is that any toilet block should be maintained and cleaned to within an inch of its life. It should be serviced and put together properly.
Absolutely, and I think it's one of those things that we're very much aligned in terms of our goals when it comes to how we see toilets in the UK. What does it mean from your point of view, from the BTA, to have corporate champions such as Initial?
It's our lifeblood, literally, Jimmy. At this point in time, it gives us kudos and credibility when we go to Westminster, and we can say, look, the British Toilet Association is a members association, and it is supported by corporate champions such as Initial, one of the biggest companies probably in the world, who look at what we're doing and who want to work with us and want to believe in our ethos and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to achieve, because it very much aligns with their own thing. So having corporate champions, having members is great. We want to work with members, and we wanted to spread the word across the country. But having a corporate champions allows us to do things, put out podcasts. It allows us to put out newsletters, whatever, and speak to the right people. And we're now getting invited into Westminster. We're getting invited into some of the big academia places, because we're looking at putting on some sort of a think tank. Let's talk toilets. might be something to hear about in a not too distant future. But when people are looking at the BTA, they look at the BTA and they see large organisations such as Initial backing the BTA, and that means that we're worth talking to.
And that's about gathering momentum. And from our point of view, because obviously that relationship works both ways, we get a fantastic amount of insight, a fantastic amount of experience and expertise when it comes to how we can help develop washrooms in the future, the products and services that we provide. We gain so much from that partnership with the BTA, so already thank you for that. For anyone that wants any more information about the BTA, it's btalose.co.uk.
www.btalose.co.uk.
So head over there.
I'm Raymond. Please call. I'm waiting for your call.
Fantastic. Raymond, absolutely brilliant.
James, thank you.
Lovely talking with you, and I can't wait to do it again soon in the future.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.